Robschild, nothing I say is investment advice. Welcome to the show where we view financial markets through crystal ball gazing. J.P. Morgan once said, millionaires don't need astrologers, but billionaires do. And so we begin. Today is Friday, June 21st, 2024, and today's episode, triple witching. My people, including myself, were thinking, things might get crazy, as they sometimes do with the triple witching, and nothing too eventful happened. I'm certainly seeing some cracks, especially in the NASDAQ and SMH. We'll go over that, but for the most part, Nothingburger. We had no huge pop in the VIX, no run to safety, nothing like that. So the main thing today that I am focused on personally is Bitcoin. Is it going to break? As of right now, as I'm recording, it's 7:46. We still have 14 minutes before the close. The long and the short of it is that if it closes below the wick of June 18th, which was at 64,032. If this candle today closes on a daily time frame on TradingView, then that means the bears win, and the likelihood of Bitcoin continuing down to the 50,000 range increases dramatically. If it does not close below that line, and it as it is right now, it's 64,069, so we're not there, and so we have 13 minutes to get there. If it doesn't get there, then it actually gives some support to perhaps maybe even getting over these previous lines, at least this one here. But if we do make it below, then watch out below. That's a big sign for a break in Bitcoin. Third topic of the day for headlines from Robschild is silverfish. All I can say is, thank goodness I'm not trying to trade silver. I don't really consider myself to be a trader overall. When I see, things line up in my macro views along with trading patterns, that's when I'll strike. But, I think silver overall is overvalued, and but I don't know if it's going to go up or down. But when I say silverfish, I just mean, it's like those bugs crawling around. You never know which way they're going to go. You try to chase them. You try to, kill one, and they just run away and you can't get them. Although silverfish it's not the best example. It'd be more akin to cockroach, but it's silver, so I gotta say silverfish. Anyway, we had like this double top pattern. We broke it. We confirmed it. I think we did anyway. And so that's supposed to mean to go to the downside. It didn't go to the downside. It went up. We went up out of it. And so that means, okay, we're going to stay over this line again. It was actually pretty bullish looking. And then the very next day, engulfing candle. It's like, okay, well, that's bearish. Okay, now something makes sense. For the several days afterwards, we had a flag building all the way through June 19th. And then on the 20th, instead of breaking down the way it should, as it does 60-70% of the time, it popped up. And then so once again, we're in bullish mode. And then today, another engulfing red candle. What is going on in silver? It's the silverfish. You can't catch it, no matter, any trader right now that just trades silver on a daily time frame, I would imagine would be pulling his hair out right now. Anyway, moving on, we had PMIs come out today. Well, flash PMI, so the flash services PMI, anything over 50 is expanding, below 50 is contracting, and so this is expanding more than expected for this first data, which is very interesting. Shows that the economy is not doing as slow. I keep saying I think all data is going to be cooler here, but this did not show that. This shows actually a good amount of strength. And then flash manufacturing PMI came out also higher than expected. We were expected to contract, and instead it expanded. Notably, the next real big event in markets is next Friday, the Fed favorite inflation gauge PCE data. We'll start on a daily time frame. As you can see, my clock down here, 7:51. I have 9 minutes left on the clock for this Bitcoin thing to see what happens. I'm kind of excited to see if it breaks there or not. But anyway, this is the SPX, this is the S&P 500. This looks like a small break, easily buyable break that could go higher from here. You know, the triple witching didn't cause anything. This candle doesn't even have very big wicks. It didn't even go down or up very far, so very muted. HYT still meandering sideways, not looking very bearish or bullish. This is high yield corporate. If this breaks down, bankruptcies come and then they roll on each other and the economy falls apart. So again, this is a very important chart to keep track of. Yesterday I mentioned the dollar going higher against the yen. It seems like it really broke against the yen. I'm not going to show that chart here today, and so watch out for that. You know, if the Japanese government starts dumping treasuries, we could see some craziness coming in the near future. But just the DXY by itself breaking higher, you know, breaking over the wick of this tall wick candle, this is bullish here for the dollar. It looks like it wants to keep going up here. Fear and greed index, again, I find it so interesting to have the S&P 500 near all-time highs with a small break, and we're still solidly in fear at 41. Again, it has to do with the breadth of the market. There's just a lot of stocks that are not performing as well as Nvidia. Nvidia's carrying the whole thing up, and you know, the S&P 500, it's market cap weighted. So if you have equal weight, then each company of the 500 companies is the same. And then you rebalance. You know, you sell the ones that grew and you buy the ones that shrank, and to keep it the same. But the real index just, you know, weighs it by market cap. So if you're a bigger company, you're a bigger percentage of the S&P 500, and so that's why we can have this divergence here. TLT, Treasury bonds, still consolidating in this what looks like a very clean bull flag pattern. We didn't break out of it anyway. It looks to me like it will likely break out higher. You know, the one thing that I keep in the back of my head is like, well, maybe they're not going to be going way up right now is, you know, the Japanese government. You know, they hold so many treasury securities. If they start dumping them, then the value of this has the potential, it will put pressure on it to go down at the very least. I mentioned in yesterday's show maybe a double bottom in a fund called REMX. This is a rare earth and strategic metals ETF. I thought maybe we'd have a bounce here, and the market doesn't. It's like this market isn't popular enough or something. We just fell right over like nothing. Like this is just continuing down. How low will it go? I don't know. I wanted to bring up wood. I haven't brought it up in a while. This is another good leading indicator as to what may happen in the near future. We had this double top, very clear double top pattern, and we're consolidating near this line here. You know, it looks like it wants to break down, but it hasn't done that yet. SMH, you know, similarly, I believe in the triple Qs. I'm just going to show this one. You know, if Nvidia really is the main thing keeping up the S&P 500, you know, a break like this, it's not completely bearish, but it's certainly not bullish anymore. It's taking off a lot of bullishness. You know, when you have a healthy bull market, you want to see it go down a little bit and you buy it. A little bit, you buy it. Goes down a little bit, you know, go down this one, you maybe could buy that, although it was engulfing of 2 previous trading days. But another break here, it's like, no, we're probably going to be consolidating here, which I think will put pressure on the S&P 500. That's all for today's show. Hope you enjoyed. Thank you for watching. Robschild.